Everybody doing okay? Hello, pre-retirement. Hey, Jet. Happy Sunday. Happy New Week, everyone. Hope everybody have had a. Hope everybody's having a good Sunday so far. Today, I want to do a preview on this movie I seen last night. It's a pretty good movie. It's a pretty good movie. It's called Angie's Cure. That was the name of it. Angie's Cure. It's about this young girl that was raped and she was traumatized. But I'm gonna get into the movie in a few minutes. Yeah, it's called Angie's Cure. I don't know if y'all have seen it. Do y'all watch any Tubi movies? Yeah, you can find this movie on Tubi. You can find it on Tubi. Hey, how are you doing? Happy Sunday. Hey Terry. Hey, how y'all doing today? I was trying to do a review on this movie I had seen, and it was it was a pretty good movie. It was a little trigger, but it was a pretty good movie. It was based on a young girl that got hey, welcome in. A young girl that she got raped at a young age, and this movie deal with mental health, it deal with trauma, it deals with a lot. You know, even though this is entertainment, but there are people out here in America every day is going through some type of trauma. Some are dealing with rape and sexual abuse and sexual assault. Some people are dealing with it by themselves. They don't have no one to turn to. They feel like if they say something, people might not believe them, or they blaming themselves. This right here is whenever I run across something concerning this type of situations. Hey, Bud Files, good to see you. Whenever I run across a movie or know someone that has been going through something like that, it does seem to trigger me some because of my own situation, what happened to me when I was young. I am a rape victim. I went through that. I went through trauma. I went through blaming and wondering why they did this to me. And that's what this movie is about. I mean, it's you have to watch it in order to know what I'm saying, but I want to talk about it because this is something people are dealing with. A lot of people try to take things in their own hand. They try to, instead of letting the law deal with it, they try to handle things on their own. So I'm gonna break down the movie about the movie and everything. And if you want to watch it, it's on Tubi, and it's called Angie's Cure. That's what the name of it. And you might see some familiar people in that movie. I seen some of the guys that played in the Wood. I seen Essen Atkinson. She played in a lot of movies. The girl, you see the girl behind me. She helped wrote the movie and she also starred in the movie. But it was a good movie. But you have to watch it in order to see what the message was. And I wrote in my title, "Your situation doesn't define who you are." And I'm gonna touch on that about what I mean by that. Because of what you go through, that don't mean that you are that person. See, this young lady went through a lot. She didn't have the family support she needed. She had to turn to strangers because her own mom blamed her for things that she couldn't do when she was coming up because she was pregnant with her. So I'm gonna get into the movies, but if you coming in, don't forget to give me a thumbs up, like, share, and subscribe. Every now and then I do a movie review that I find very interesting, and like I said, when I see something that I think would be helpful and there's a message to someone, this concerning trauma and also concerning mental health, and this is about a girl that was raped at an early age. This movie came out in 2025, May of 2025. Um, if y'all have watched Tubi movies, y'all know that it always be a twist at the end. This wasn't a true picture. It wasn't a true picture. You know, it was, like I said, it's entertainment. But sometimes we watch entertainment, we watch movies, and sometimes it hit home. It does hit home, and it all depends on, you know, how you like a movie as you see it present. So I'm gonna talk about it, but I want to ask a couple of questions about, you know, I think that the police should have been better. I think her mom should have been better. It's a lot of things in this movie that really question me. It really want me to ask some questions. Why her mama and family wasn't more involved in her? Why the police is always assume that a black man gonna always take the fall for anything that's going on in their neighborhood. In other words, they judge people by the way they look. And like I said, this movie was, it was, it was sad. I had some tears in my eyes because of the fact I can see this girl in myself. But when that happened to me, I was able to talk to my mama. I was able to tell my parents and everybody what was going on. She couldn't even tell her parents what was going on. Her dad had left at an early age. Her mom was she was just about her. Until the end, she started, you know, but I'm finna get into it. Like I said, this movie came out May of 2025, and it's based and directed from this guy named Corey Grant. I'm not familiar with him, but he had wrote several movies on Tubi. And some of the people that starred in the movie is Edson Atkinson, Lynette Touchette, Sean Nelson, Denise Botti. And this right here is a trauma. This movie right here is based on traumatization. The young lady was raped at 16 years old. She was raped at 16 years old. And she found her strength. She wasn't healed. For one thing, she was not healed. And so she had got the opportunity that she was able to do some things, and she thought that would help her. But in the end, it did help her in the end. But getting on into I don't know if y'all remember the movie called Fresh. The little boy that played in the movie called Fresh, his name is Sean Nelson. I don't know if y'all remember the movie called Fresh. One of y'all remember the movie called Fresh? And a movie called Wood. He was in the movie Wood also. He was one of the boys. I can't think of his name in the movie. I'm just going to go to his character. But he played in the movie. And we also had the girl what played in one of Damon Wayans pictures. My Wife and Kid. I think that's what it was. The daughter, the oldest daughter. Y'all remember the oldest daughter, Jennifer Freeman? She was in it. Vanessa Williams was in it. Let me see, can I show y'all some of the people? Y'all might can recognize them if I show y'all the picture. But I think it was a very good movie. Deep. It was very deep, y'all. I mean, it was deep. And I just want to share some things that I felt like was needed to be talked about, because this is something that people are dealing with. A lot of people are dealing with this type of stuff every day. Every day. Hold on, y'all. I gotta send a message right quick. My husband just texted me. Let me see what he wants. Lord have mercy. So getting back to the movie. I don't know if y'all familiar with her. She was like the police officer. She played a lot. She been playing a lot of different types of movies and different kind of shows and stuff like that. Y'all probably remember her. See her face real good. Do y'all remember her? Do y'all know her? Edson Atkins. This is the girl that played Angie. This is her when she got older. She's also is one of the producers of the movie. and the writers of the movie. So she's like the main character. That's her when she got older. And this guy right here, I don't know if y'all can see his face real good, but he played in The Wood, and he also played in the movie what I told y'all, Fresh. I think that movie was called Fresh or something like that. But he was one of the little boys. He always have played like, well, he was kind of a good guy in that also, but he's playing the bad guy right here. So these are some of the people that was in the movie. I'm familiar with some of these faces. Uh, y'all probably remember Vanessa Williams. She played in New Jack City. This right here is Jennifer Lewis. She played in one of My Wife and Kids, the Wayne brothers little comedy show they had a long time ago, and it was the girl playing the young Angie. But they consider this to be like drama. This is like a drama movie, but it's still, most of these movies does have twists to them. But I want to get into what I thought of the movie. Y'all probably see her good now, but y'all remember probably seeing her. She's a child actor. He was a child actor too. A lot of them played in the movie Wood. Two of those guys played in the movie Wood. Let me see, can I pull this guy right here? Y'all probably know him now when I show you this picture right here. Let's see, I'm trying to find one of his younger pictures. But y'all probably seen him, remember seeing a movie called Fresh. Yeah, he was in a movie called Fresh. Everybody want to call when I go live. They do it every time. So he been acting for a while, but he playing kind of like the bad guy right here. Let me see. Yeah, he played in The Wood. Y'all remember the boy? He was playing one of the young. There you go, right now. This guy right here. He was a little young guy in the movie Wood. Y'all remember that now? I don't know if anybody in the chat, but y'all do remember him, right? So he turned out to be one of the bad guys. But he started off like he was a bad guy, but he ended up being a good guy. And he said some things that I think really hit home in the movie. He really did, he turned out to be a black father. Then fell on hard time. He was wanted for child support, but I'm gonna get into the plot of the movie and tell y'all what really happened, and then we can then you can see where I'm going with this. Okay, this movie started when a little girl named Angie was 16. Get off of here. It was about Angie. She was 16. She's living with her mom. Her dad left her and her mom. I guess found somebody else or however, but he left her. Her mom was just like a single parent. You don't hear? Yeah, I'm back. Let's see. Yeah. But yeah, I'm finna get into the plot of the movie and let y'all know what the movie is basically about. Like I said, it was real touching. It was real touching, guys. I mean, especially if you have been in a situation like that before. If you have been sexual abuse or sexual assault in any type of way. This movie is a movie that probably would hit home, but everybody take things differently. A lot of people handle things different. I think I wish she could have had handled it a little better than what she did. She had to deal with this all alone, y'all. You know what I'm saying? She went to this. What happened? I'm finna get into the plot of the movie. I'm gonna tell y'all exactly how the movie went down. Okay, first of all, she's staying with her mom. Her dad had then left her and her mom. I guess he found somebody else or whatever. And so she was staying there with her mom. Her mom had a boyfriend, and everything. And she sneaked out. She snuck out the house. She snuck out that snuck. She was 16. She snuck out the house. She changed, and I was like, "Where that little girl call herself going?" She just snuck out the house, wearing some inappropriate clothes for her age. So she met up with some of her friends at a party. The first thing what she messed up was wearing some. She sneaked out the house. Did not tell her mom where she was going. That was one of the red flags right there for me. I knew something was, how you can see the beginning of a movie and you're like, She just sneaked out the house and I saw how she was dressing. First of all, mama, you got a teenage daughter in your house. I said she about 16. Go make sure she in the bed. First of all, you in there having your little good time in the bedroom with your boyfriend, and she gonna make a statement with her boyfriend saying, "Oh, we gotta be quiet because of Angie in the room." She didn't even know her daughter had done left. The boyfriend had said, "Well, you ain't gotta worry about her," but he still didn't never tell the mom the girl had to sneak out the house. So she just sneaked out the house and got with some of her friends. They all looking older than what they supposed to be. They had I would say maybe they was at a party for someone older than them. That's why I said the mom should have been checking to make sure the girl was in the bed. She was gonna try to get her groove on. I mean, she like, well, she in the bed. I ain't got to worry about her. And that's what I'm saying. Sometimes you got to know where your children are. Sometimes you think they be in the bed. You think they be at school. You think they be staying over after school and all that. I'm telling you, D-Day, D-Tour, now, they'll pull a trick on you. They will pull a trick on you. They can say, I'm staying after school. And they can be somewhere else. Or they can say, I'm going to stay over to one of my friend's house, and then they end up at an adult party or somewhere they shouldn't be. So getting on to the story, like I said, it was deep, and it was like, oh my God. Um, yeah, she just sneaked out the house without her mom permission, and she know her mom, wasn't gonna approve of that, her going to the party. So she gonna take it up on herself and hunt. Hey Angie, how you doing? Did you see the movie right here? I'm talking about Angie's and the movie called Angie Girl. The movie called Angie's Cure. That was the name of the movie. But it's about this 16-year-old girl got raped, and she was traumatized, and she took things in her own hand. And that's what I said, you got to know what's going on with your children. You got to ask questions. Her mom wasn't supportive at all. She just sneaked out the house. The mama not getting her groove on. She ain't really. Now you got a 16-year-old daughter, and we know we have to keep our eyes on these kids. Sometimes they'll sneak out the they'll pull a trick because it happened to us. My granddaughter, I know. These teenagers these days, they can tell you one thing and do another. You see what I'm saying? So the mom thinking the little girl in the bedroom, but no, she didn't went and sneaked off, dressed it all inappropriate for her age, you know. And thank you, Tara. I see Tara was in here, Lion Pride, and I saw Butt Files, and I saw pre-retirement. Thank y'all for stopping by. How you been doing, Angie? You getting ready for your trip? You getting ready for your trip? And you got teenage daughters, and we know it's hard to trust them, ain't it, Angie? It's hard to trust them girls, ain't it? Your teenagers. They can say, I ain't doing this. I ain't doing that. And then find out in the end, they doing something all alone. So she done went to I would say it's kind of like a college-like party. Because it seemed like a lot of those kids were there was older than her. But like I said, she was dressing. That's why I said sometimes people get the way you dress, cause she had would start dressing. She was dressing. She wasn't dressing like a 16-year-old. Cause I would say she was 16. Cause her mom said she had 3 more years to put up with her, so I'm assuming she was 16. They stand with you, okay? Yeah, I mean they. Woo, we be have to keep our eyes on them, honey, cause they'll pull a trick if they can pull. Lord, no, I know, girl, I know. But like I said, this movie was sad, and it also had a message, and I'm gonna share what the message really was, because it was a lot. Like I said, it triggered me a little bit because of the rape situation, because of my own real life situation. But I say, your situation does not define the person you are. Okay, she was at the party with her friends, drinking and smoking. She was looking like she was very uncomfortable. From what I see, I don't think that she wasn't one of those girls that was out like that. But when you got those friends like that, you try to fit in. You see what I'm saying? So I took it like, and they was trying to tell her, don't go in here acting like you scared. They was telling her, don't go in there acting like you scared and all of this and that. I mean, she had to be who she was because I figured she wasn't used to that kind of stuff. Because she had to sneak out the house. She snuck out the house to be with those girls. And they used false name. They did not use their real name while they was at the party. Her name was Angie, but she used another name. So as they went in the party, some little boy bumped into her, trying to grab her, because they looking at what she got on. And like I said, when you go into an adult situation or adult party, especially when you're young and you're dressing like you're 18 and 19 years old, what you expect for those 18 you and 19 year olds to do? They're going to be trying to get with you. They're going to be trying to get with you. Her mom at home getting her groove on. She ain't thought about the child gone. She just get her little groove on. I already said Mama gotta have her a good time too. But anyway, um, she as soon as she got in at the party, some boy just came up to her, grabbing on her and everything. But her friend was trying to tell her. In other words, they wanted her to loosen up. So they started smoking weed and doing a little different stuff. But I could tell on her face that she wasn't used to that environment, but she wanted to fit in. And see, that's what a lot of issues out here with our kids. They try to fit in. Use your own judgment on things. If you know you don't need to be going to no adult party, you ain't used to being around this type of stuff, don't let nobody make you jump off a cliff. You see what I'm saying? Because some people can make you feel so bad, like, come on. Yeah, peer pressure. They was like telling her, because she was shy. She was kind of shy like to me. And I could tell that she was not in that type of lifestyle. But her mom, girl, she made me so mad. I could have popped her. But it seemed like she was brought up that way, but she wasn't trying to really get in that type of lifestyle. But they gave her some weed, wanted her to wind up and wise up, and in other words, follow the crowd. So the little boy gonna pull on her, because like I said, the way they was dressing, and sometimes when people see how you dress, it feel like it's telling them, yeah, I think she won't want to get into something tonight. You know what I'm saying? But that don't mean that all the time. But it's still, how guys think. You go out there with your little short little mini skirt. You got your stomach out and fishnet stuff on. You're giving people ideas about you, whether you want to be that way or whether you want to be perceived that way, but you're giving people the impression that, yeah, I'm here to have a good time. But she was just getting to the party, and the boy pulled on her, trying to get with her, and she said no. And that's one thing people should never, ignore when people tell them no. That is, that's rape. When people tell you they don't want to go nowhere with you and they don't want you to touch them, you're violating people. You're violating people when they tell you, no, I don't, I'm not here for that. So as the party was going on, they gave her some weed. And then somebody drugged her. Somebody gave her something. She met another little boy. Getting to the little boy she met, he was a nice little boy. And the little boy remember the boy she met. That's why I said he moved be having a twist. Remember the boy she met was a nice guy. Just always, when you hear me going on down talking, remember that guy. It's the guy was a nice guy, okay? Okay, they knew that this boy kind of liked her because she danced with him. And they had it where he could leave because he was part of a gang. Because this kind of like a gang-related movie also. They had their little tattoos and their little thing that let them represent that they was boys. And I guess the boy that pulled her when she first got there got mad because she didn't pay him no attention. So she started dancing with the other guy. So, he was seem like a pretty nice guy. He danced with her. And the boy that pulled her, he didn't like it. So this what he gonna do. He gonna send him to the store. He gonna send the boy to the store she danced with just to get him away from the party so he could attack Angie. You know what I'm saying? He had all that premeditated what he wanted to do. They had to drug her. And then one little girl talking about this what happened when you attend adult parties. I mean, and there are some women out there like that. They think it's like I guess they'll say stuff about you when they see that other women's is getting more attention than them. They'll try to say stuff to put that other woman down. And Angie, you probably know what I'm talking about. Some women do that. They'll try to make it seem like you're a bad woman because they feel like you're trying to get something they want. And but really, it just was it was something else. But you need to watch it in order to see what I'm going with this. But they made sure the boy she was dancing with wasn't at the party. It kind of reminds you of the Players Club. You remember the movie called Player Club when they went in the room and took the girl in the room and raped her? See, that's what they did with Angie, but they made sure that nobody wasn't around. And then some of those girls saw what happened too. But they didn't try to stop those guys. They said, oh, this is what happened when you try to come to adult parties and, in other words, messing with somebody that you should. Hey, Frank, how you doing? You listening? Did you see that movie? It's good, Frank. It's real good. Did I get some nice holiday clothes when you were shopping? I had ordered some of my stuff online. I gotta pick up a few little errands tomorrow. After tomorrow, I'm gonna be through. I just got a few little more things, but I already got my summer stuff what I'm gonna put on for my trip. But yeah, this is a pretty good movie. I'm talking about the girl. She was 16 years old. She was raped at this party. And like I said, they knew what they was doing. They had them drugged her, and they like, hey, Miss Key, how you doing? You know how some people be like, when you dress the way you dress, and you haven't seen it? Yeah, it's on Tubi. Yeah, it came out in May of 2025. Miss Key, I think Miss Key said she's seen it, but it's just like the way she was dressing, and some people be thinking like, yeah, they want it. They really want to get out here and get into stuff. But it don't mean that all the time. But sometimes your clothes can speak and make people feel like you that kind of person. But anyway, they drugged her, they raped her, and it was gang related. It was gang related. It kind of reminded me of the Players Club when they took that girl in that room. I think it was two of them. I think it was two guys with raped her, but like one was holding her and the other one was raping her. And that just got to me so bad, because like I said, because I am a victim of rape, and I know how it feel to be hold down, and you're screaming and hollering, and you've been busy, okay. I know how it is when you've been screaming and hollering and nobody hear you. She was drugged, but she know when someone had raped her. So it was also a shootout at the party. It was gang related. They had drugs there. People underage were there, and people got shot. People did get shot. The police came. The police did come, but the police, they arrest the wrong boy. They arrest the wrong boy, and I'm gonna get into that. And that's why I said sometimes police don't even ask questions. Just because they see somebody at a party and they're assuming that in other words, sometimes the police they're targeting. They like, yeah, he the one did it. They didn't even ask no questions. You know what I'm saying? They assume he was the one did the shooting, which he wasn't. They ended up shooting one of his friends. It was the guy that was dancing with her. That's the one I said was a nice guy. And that's why I say sometimes your company, the company you keep, the people you be around can have others to think otherwise of you. You don't have to be that type of person, but if you're out with people like that, you got gang signs, tattoos, and all that stuff representing gangs, they gonna assume that you are part of that type of person. You see what I'm saying? But they just came in arrested. It was just all a mess. And y'all know police do that. Sometimes they just judge people by the way they look. They don't ask questions. They don't investigate. And so they got the boy. They thought the boy was the one did the shooting. So the boy that raped the girl, he did get killed. And so the little girl is in the room. She was so traumatized, y'all. Let me tell y'all how traumatized this girl was. She was so traumatized. Well, when men even look at her, she was scared. She didn't even want to talk to men. But she was so messed up. And she had the opportunity to press charges. She had the opportunity to go get a rape kit. But she refused to do any of that. That's why I said this move was so deep, and she needed to heal. She really needed to heal, y'all. She kept that to herself. She didn't never tell her. When she got home with the police officer, she didn't never tell her mom. The reason she didn't tell her mom because of the way her mama was, y'all. The lady wasn't concerned because your 16-year-old daughter is out the house. You in there getting your groove on. You should have been in there trying to check on your child. Yeah, her mom with me. Now, for the parents in the chat, you got 16-year-old, like, I know because I know what we had to go through. When you know your child supposed to be in bed, ain't you going to try to go in there and check and make sure she in bed? She ain't not trying to get her groove on and now doing what she want to do. She don't even, the girl is out the house. The girl done got raped. The mama ain't know nothing. Only thing the mama, this why ooh, child. She made me so mad. That woman made me so mad. She was a very insecure person. And she just only thought of herself. She didn't never, when the police brought the girl down, the girl, she didn't press charges. She didn't even tell the police what was going on. She didn't even tell her mama. Because mama, as soon as she got there, she just went off on her, right? She went off on her, just talking down on her, talking about she the reason why she ain't got what she need to go because of her. Because I guess I'm assuming she had her at an early age. So that's why I say a lot of stuff like this, people be having stuff going on in their household, And sometimes it affects children in a way where they feel like this is my way out. She probably knows she ain't supposed to been out to that party. You know what I'm saying? She probably knew she ain't supposed to be out to that party, but she wasn't getting the love and from her mom. Her mom, like her mom wasn't paying her no attention. You know, she like, well, she ain't gonna miss me no way. She automatically assumed she did something wrong. That's what I'm saying. She just, in other words, cause the police brought her down. She thought she had did something wrong. But look, lady, Mickey, first of all, what you doing out the door? You're supposed to be in bed, right? So why wasn't you already trying to find her? No, she had getting us groove on, smoking and doing what she want to do. So she didn't even miss a child. That's why I said, Lord, some of these parents, that's why some of them do what they do. Because of the parent, it's because of what the parent be doing. I had my son just after my 16th birthday, no excuse for not parents. That's what I'm saying, Angie. She blamed the girl. Hey, Sunshine, how you doing? Good to see you. She blamed the girl because of her own failures. She wasn't there for her daughter. The girl then came in, she done got raped. And you know the girl been out the house. You ain't asked the girl how she doing or what didn't happen to her. She come in there pointing finger, blaming her like somebody she sacrificed her career for her and all of this and that. I mean, she just was going out to my, you better not bring no baby here. I mean, she was high. Her hair wasn't combed. She was just looking a hot mess. No, she didn't care. But I'm going to tell you this. That shouldn't have stopped her. Yeah, it was bad. The girl got traumatized, y'all. Like I said, I don't know if anybody in the chat that never ever been in a situation where you've been raped or been violated by someone. It really does. Her name is Denise. Yeah, she also helped written the movie too. Mickey, she was one of the writers of the movie, and like I said, I can speak on this because I am a rape victim at an early age. And I know what it did to me mentally. And at my age now, by watching this movie here, it still triggered me, but I'm strong enough to be able to talk about it. But last night I was in my feeling because when I was watching, I'm like, oh my God, she's alone. The girl was real alone. She didn't have nobody she can turn to. Her own mama blame her for her failures. Her mama blame her. But look, there are a lot of parents have children at an early age and they still be able to have a career. You know, when I had my daughter at 18, I had just been in college. Yes, I said I wish I could have did more, but I was, you know, I was happy about what I was able to do. You see what I'm saying? And I wasn't gonna blame my daughter for if I want, like I said, I always wanted to be a teacher. And I know it wasn't too late for me to go back to school to do that. I could have, but I don't blame my child because of I didn't follow my career path. I choose to go to work and help take care of my baby. I had my child at 18. But this lady here, it's obvious she had her at 16. Like Angie said, she had her son at 16. But that did not stop her from being a parent. This woman here thought she was still 16 herself. The mama in this movie, she didn't care. Only thing, she was just smoking weed. She didn't comb her hair. She just didn't care. Only thing she was doing is wanting, hate to say it, she just wanted to get her groove on. She had a little boyfriend there and everything, but she never asked the girl how was she doing. The police done brought your child home, Angie, Big Key, whoever got children. If the police done brought your children home, aren't you gonna ask, are you okay? What's going on? She didn't even ask. She did not even ask the girl nothing. She just started blaming her for her lame excuses of a life. And so this girl, she had all this build up in her. You know, she was like, she wished her dad had been there. Her dad left her, went with another, left her and her mom, went to another with another woman. And, she just saying, her mom never would put her first. Her mom didn't care to the end. And I felt like it was too late. You should have been trying to be a parent while you out here trying to get your rocks on and trying to get the next, trying to be Stella. Her mama seemed like she was trying to be Stella, but get her groove back. But I'm just saying, we have to, as parents, we got to talk to our children, y'all. We got to ask questions. We got to ask them what's going on. Whether they want to tell us or not, still ask them anyway. Let them know that you are concerned. Let them know that you tell them you love them. And if they make a mistake, like I said about my granddaughter, she got pregnant at an early age. Yes, it hurted me. But I say she ain't the only one have done that. But we didn't stop loving her. We still continue to support and love her. You see what I'm saying? We all have been there. We all have did some things that we might not have been proud of. We all have been in situations that we wish that we should have did better. But we can't let those situations and things like that define the person that we are today. We can't continue to keep putting ourselves in those positions. Because when I was raped, even at the age of 8, I was questioning, like, what did I do wrong? And see, that's what she wanted to know. What did she do to cause her mom to be the way she is, cause the man to rape her? And she said the first thing she would say, if she had to report it, first thing they wouldn't have, a lot of people don't come forward because they feel like people don't believe them. They don't come forward also because she said that the first thing her mama gonna say, which is true, she should have never snuck out the house. Your 16-year-old daughter then left the house. You end up having sex. I'm just gonna say it. She ended up getting her rocks on. I mean, you should have went on there and checked your kid before you start doing that. See, she was, when I call teenagers, when they do stuff like that, they be up under a lot of peer pressure. They be up under a lot of peer pressure. They trying to see what the friends, they let their friends persuade them to, you have to use your own mind when it comes. You don't have to dress a certain way because these days you're giving people ammunition to come after you. You're 16 years old. You wearing fishnet. You're wearing short bras. Your stomach all out. Your breasts showing. You got on little booty skirts, and you're giving these people ideas about you. And then too, if she had been any kind of parent, she should have been up, and she would have been knowing what's going on with her child. Like I said, I got grandgirls. My granddaughter, wherever we going this weekend for my granddaughter's birthday, she'll be 17. And my granddaughter always be saying, Grandma, I know you're going to be saying something. I said, what you got to wear, y'all? What you going to be putting on? She know I be like, no, you don't need to put that on. I be looking. I be asking questions. I be saying something. Because I be concerned. Because we finna go on vacation. I know it be some weird people around down there out of town. And when you go out there dressed in all kind of way, you give them ideas. You see what I'm saying? Frank, you laughing at me. I'm not saying though. That one thing about my Bible, see that? Look, back in our day, Frank, we had to have them dresses down our knees. Right. We were wearing dresses down our knee when I was coming up. I'm about to have some short pants, but they wasn't no hot pants. You know what I'm saying? But I know things have changed now. Things have changed. People are trying to fit in with the trending news, the trending styles, the fashion, all that. Drug and alcohol don't go well with parents. Ooh, child. She like, ooh, Angie. She would get a groove on y'all. Ooh. She would get a groove on. The man had to put it on. She had to came out with her hair, stick it all out on her head. I said, this woman crazy or what? Yeah, she had no talking about, don't you bring no baby him. Don't bring no baby him. Because that's what happened to me. I could never do what I need to do. You know, in other words, that's what she was saying. I think her mama wanted to be a model and this and that. But that couldn't have stopped her. She still could pursue her career. But anyway, the little girl, she had got so traumatized, y'all. She was scared to even talk to men. You know, she would say now this was the little girl would say she had been grown up to be because they showed her when she was young. And once she got older, they showed her too, right? And she was wondering why did her dad leave her, why her dad couldn't take her with him and his other family, you know. And then she would question like, why this happened to me? She blamed herself for what the boy did to her that night. And she was so traumatized where she said she would see men coming down the street and she'll be on the other side of the street. She was so traumatized where she couldn't be around men. She didn't want to look at them. She didn't want to talk to them. I mean, she was a piece of work. You hear me? She had a lot of work and she needed help. She needed help. She really did. She really needed help. But honey, that little heifer was strong. She was strong-minded. She was strong-minded, right? But she was still, in her mind, she would blame herself. She couldn't talk to her mama. And when she had the opportunity to get revenge, she did it. She did. She was working at his hair salon. So a guy came in. I'm finna get down to the twist of the thing now, y'all. The guy came in with robbed the hair salon. That girl was so brave, y'all. She was brave. She was strong. Because she had so much build up inside of her. Well, she just had to let it. I'm telling y'all. You know, I don't know if a lot of people don't know. Sometimes you can be so angry. Sometimes you can be so angry. And it just like, any little thing can tick you off. And you just ready to explode. And that's how she was. The man came in with a gun. Trying to rob the hair salon. You know. But she, like I said, she couldn't face men. But that girl was scared of that man. Like she got some backbone in her. She tased the man. She got him down. She taped him. And they were like, woo! The other women like, woo, the one was so scared. One of the women working in the hair salon was scared to hold a gun. That girl pulled out her taser. Angie pulled out her taser. That's why I said that girl was strong. She was physically strong, but mentally she still wasn't where she, you know, she had built up so much courage and she wanted revenge. That's what it was. And the first man that attacked them, she got it. She got it. Girl, I probably been streaming. Angie, a man coming in the hair salon, right, with a big old rifle, telling you, if you working at the hair salon, give me all your money. Give me all the money out the safe. All the other women would have panicking. I would have been like, damn. I would have been like, damn. I would have been panicking. I would have been like, woo. Angie? Angie, is you like that, Angie? Go. Angie, is you like that, Angie? I believe you don't play Angie. I bet you one of them Angies, ain't you, Angie? I mean, she had them been through so much where she had them built her courage. She didn't have them got stronger physically. You know what I'm saying? She's got that man. She got that man. I mean, she tased him so fast and whipped that tape around his hand, and the other women were like, woo! She told the woman, hold a gun. The woman Vanessa Williams, she played in New Jack City. She was with the man in New Jack City. She telling that woman to hold a gun. The woman like, oh, she I would have been the same way. I would have been want to hold no gun. She up telling the lady to hold a gun while she get the man and tie him up and stuff. And they were like, Angie. They were like, they were just surprised and shocked that she had so much strength, y'all. She had built up so much strength. Physically, but mentally she wasn't. So she didn't get look, y'all. They didn't report the robbery, right? And she gonna come out there and say the man ran away. This girl she had to hold that man hostage. Angie got revenge. She hold this man hostage, y'all. She took the man out. That was a little strong little girl. But she had to turn to a woman then. She took the man downstairs and kept him in the basement. Hey, serious? I'm not talking about the movie Angie's Cure. If y'all haven't watched it, please do. It's based on the girl was traumatized. She got raped at 16. It deal with mental health. It deal with insecurity. It deal with race too, because the way how those police officers went after that boy, they didn't even question. They didn't say, oh, he did it. Oh, because he was in the gang. Like I said, sometimes when our image or our environment or people that you be around, which it don't have to be that way. Sometimes people judge you by being surrounded by people, sometimes they assume that you would like these people because you socialize with those type of people. But that don't mean that you a bad person. They didn't even ask no question. They arrested the guy. They killed his best friend, and they arrested him. They thought he was the one did the other shooting, but he didn't do it. But I'm saying that's how people are easily to get. They're targeting people out here now. Y'all see the police do that now. You do? Check that out. Check this move out. A lot of our black men are being stereotyped, y'all. And y'all know I'm telling the truth. Because y'all see how they did what happened to George Farmer, right? Not George Farmer, but George Floyd. Y'all saw how he was to me, he was a target. To me, it was premeditated. Everything that they did to George Floyd, it was racist. And it's still going on today. Even in the movie I'm talking about, because of the fact, and the boy, it was so touching what the boy had said. He said, I'm not a bad person. The one that robbed the beauty salon, Angie had to tuck the boy downstairs, y'all. But he helped her. Angie needed therapy. The girl needed therapy because she was traumatized from the rape. He helped her. Even though he soon to be a bad person, he tried to rob the salon. Hey, TNT, how you doing? He wanted to rob the salon because he was behind in child support. And he said, what movie? Angie's Cure. That was the name of it. About this girl that got raped at an early age. She went through a lot, dealing with a bad parent. She got raped and she holds a lot of stuff in, and she got revenge. But because that was her way of trying to deal with the trauma. That was her way to try to deal with the trauma. But the guy she hold it hostage, he was at the party. But he was the guy. Y'all remember when I said that she danced with a nice guy? He was the boy that he asked her to dance at the party before she got raped, but she assumed that he was the one who raped her because he had the tattoos. But he wasn't the one that raped her. But she needed therapy. She needed help because she had to hold that in her for 10 years. She hadn't even told her mama what was going on. She did tell the lady she worked for about what happened. We don't realize when we hold stuff in. A lot of people say they don't like to be a burden to people, or they don't like to, they just like to just keep it to themselves. Sometimes when you hold stuff in, especially that type of stuff, about if you being sexual abused or rape or sexual assault, I know the first thing come in your mind, nobody won't believe me. They'll think it's something I did. Even though this a movie, but this is something happening in real life. Oh, you did? You seen it? Thank you for being a member for 2 months. See, you was a member longer than that, but I think your channel, when you started your channel back over, it did your time because I think you had been with me. Oh, that's okay. Yeah, y'all been with me 2 months. Thank y'all. But see, TNT, I think you had been with me by close to a year, but something happened to your channel, right? So yours didn't start over. Miss Key and Miss Patty and the ones that were with me the last time. I appreciate y'all so much. So Siri, what do you think about the movie? Do you think that she should have handled it? Do you think that she should have just let the police handle it? But that girl, she had, like I said, she had built up so much courage. She took that man down. You hear me? I would have been just like them other two women. I would have been over there shaking in my boot. I don't think I could have tied that man up like that. But she, like I said, physically she was strong, but mentally she wasn't. She held up so much stuff in her for 10 years, y'all. She hadn't kept that what the man had did to her for 10 years. She hadn't even told her mama because she was afraid to tell her mama. Her mama was going to judge her. Her mama already was blaming her for the things that she couldn't do in her life. Yeah, always. I hope everything is turning out all right for you. And so, in a way, I wish she had a jazz. I haven't seen the movie Jamaica. Oh, who said they seen them? I thought you said you seen the movie. Okay. Oh, TNT seen the movie. Okay. I know Miss Key said she seen it too. She said it was real deep. See, she could have told the police that she had the man, but she didn't tell them. She said the man had to ran away, but she had to got that man who robbed that salon and had to tied him up down there in the basement, y'all. Because she was going through, she was traumatized. She was like, she was seeing, she was seeing her attacker through him, which he was at the party, but he was like the guy she danced with at the party. And he was he was a nice guy back then. Okay. Serious and thank you. Okay. But yeah, I think she should have handled it a little bit better, but like she was saying, like they were saying in the you don't know these things until it happened to you. Like I said, I've been there. I've been raped, but I did tell my mom. I did go to the hospital. I went to court. I went through all of that. See, she didn't tell the police. She didn't tell her mom. Because she was scared that they was going to judge her. She was scared her mama was going to blame her. Because she did sneak out the house now. She sneaked out the house and went to the party, but still, we got teenagers. She was 16-year-old. And her mom, to me, her mom should have been on her. She should have been trying to make sure, see where she was, trying to make sure you're in the house. But like I say, y'all, these kids will pull a trick on you now. These days, they'll lie in a minute. They will lie in a minute. They can say they going to their friend house and they end up somewhere else. You see what I'm saying? They will lie. So I got grandkids. I be telling y'all, I gonna be telling them lie now. But I'm saying these days, when kids tell you that, if you tell a kid, children now, I don't want you seeing him. I don't want you going to this party. But they still seem to find a way. They still seem to find a way, some type of way, whether they'll say, I'm going over Sue house. I want to spend the night over Sue house. And then they find ways to get out and do the things that they think in their mind is the right thing to do. But that's when they be very disobedient when they do that. As soon as they open their mouth, they go. Cause my grandma, I'm finna go down. Yeah, right. My granddaughter used to say, Grandma, go out for a walk. Child, she probably gonna kill me. I know she was walking. I didn't know she was gonna walk up on a baby. All right, okay, you can go on and go for a walk. I'm in my mind, you know. Like I said, I got teenage granddaughters. I know. They'll lie in a minute. They'll lie in a minute. That's why we as parents, grandparents, we have to talk to them, stay on them. But I know we can't be around them 24/7, but we gotta let them know, we gotta let them know that this shouldn't be happening. This shouldn't be happening. Like I said, I know my grandkid. I know I'm about the back of my hand now. They can't pull that know me now. They can't do it. They can't do it. I be on them. I dropped the ball one time. I ain't gonna drop it no more. They're like, Grandma, you need to loosen up. Where you going? Who you going with? What you doing with that on? God, I know you ain't wearing that no way, is you? Now, come on now. It is called test parents to see if they would get you. And see, this little girl that snuck out the house. And she blamed herself because she said she shouldn't have never went to the party. But she shouldn't blame herself for being raped. She was violated. She was a virgin. They took her. He took her virginity, and that's something like stuff like that will traumatize you. Like I said, I was 8 years old. My virginity was taken at 8 years old because I was raped. I was violated. I didn't even know nothing about sex at 8 years old. I've been traumatized. And I still, like this movie here, it triggered me last night when I was watching. I was crying. But I'm able to talk about it because I have got to the point where I try to use what I went through. I try to make it out to try to help others with it. You see what I'm saying? That's what I try to do. Read your message. What you said, sweetie? A lot of pain with my back and my arm, and I'm not trying to complain. Okay, girl. That's all right. You still here. Girl, I go through it too. Child, I know what it is to have pain. You know I know. But yes, but this movie was so. Can y'all put some popcorns in the chat? Y'all put some popcorn in the chat. But I'm just saying, y'all, if you have never been assaulted or abused or raped, you cannot really imagine what it does to a person mentally. You really don't know what it does to a person mentally. The first person I told when that happened to me, I told my mama. And that happened to that girl. She couldn't even tell her mama. Because her mama was kept on 14 months. All right. Miss Key, 14 months. So your time carried on from the first time you joined. And see, she couldn't even tell her mama. But at the end, her mama broke down and she apologized to her. But what I'm saying is, guys, sometimes whether We just gotta keep on our kids, keep talking to them, keep telling them, "Hey, 1 month, all right." Shout out to my Georgia. What? Shout out to those Georgia troops. I appreciate y'all so much. But yeah, getting on down to the movie, but y'all, when she got the boy and she hold the boy out there for a few days, guess what, y'all? Y'all will guess what happened. Mickey, I know you know what happened, but y'all won't guess what happened. Now she done tied that man up and beat him up. Then poured hot grits on him, and I mean, oh my God. Mickey, you know what I'm going with it, right, Mickey? You shout. This woman ended up. She was, look, now she was scared to talk to me, but this man helped her. He was like her therapy, y'all. She wanted to touch him. She started kissing him. She done beat his butt and throw. This was her way of dealing with the trauma, y'all. I'm like, is she gonna really go sleep with this man after she done beat this man, then throw grits on him, and I mean, oh my God, Mickey, what did you think? You said you was shocked. Yeah, that's a testimony. You've been through a very tragic pain in your life. Look at your, yeah, yes, I have. And I mean, serious, I have, and I have gotten so strong through some of the things I've been through, and I can tell y'all, I've been traumatized, and it ain't no good feeling to be in fear. That's why I have anxiety. But I haven't had now in over a year now. When I get overwhelmed and started feeling fear, I started having anxiety. And I think it have a lot to do with what I have been through. But I thank God daily that He's continued to make me stronger. Sometimes when y'all don't see me, sometimes I just take days to just have that quiet time and heal through some of the things that I know that, you know, I be praying, ask God to continue to make me strong, because I want my channel, I want to be able to have my voice, my channel, to be able to reach someone, to help someone that is have dealt with being in a situation like this. I said, that's what my title said. No matter your situation, it don't define who you are. And see, she had started blaming, the girl had started blaming herself. Her mama made her felt like she wasn't nothing. Her mama just blamed her for her own failures. And we can't do that as parents. We can't blame our children for something that we couldn't do. People still going to school. They still going to school at 40, 50, 60 years old. You can still go back to school and pursue some of the things that you want to do. But don't blame your child for some of your own mistakes. Those children, and like I said, those children do not ask to be here. She said her daughter, that's why you don't come here with no baby now. She told the girl, don't come here with no baby. Because she ended up pregnant with her at 16. Those kids don't ask to be here. That be something you be the one out and did. Don't blame the children. And that's what a lot of people do. See y'all comment. Okay. Thank y'all for being my members. Thank y'all so much. But yeah, it's sad too. Okay. The girl needed help, y'all. She needed someone to talk to. She needed to get out of being in so much fear. She had a lot of fear. She felt like she was the one doing something wrong. But what she did, y'all, she took things in her own hand. She was trying to handle this guy in her own way. But she ended up falling for the man. Y'all, she ended up falling for the same man that she thought had raped her, but he wasn't the one raped her, but he was in the game with him. It was just all screwed up, y'all. Nikisa, I was confused about what was going on, but at the same time, he did help her face her fear of men. Yeah, he did. He helped her because her mama would say, her mama did say this too, right? That every time a man would come around her, she wouldn't look at a man, she wouldn't talk to a man, and this was her way of dealing with it. But she ended up falling for the man. Oh, mercy, Jesus. She ended up falling for the same man she beat up. Look, y'all, she tied the man up, throw hot grits on him, but she ended up having feeling for him because he told her, he said he's not a bad person. He just was in a bad situation. He got blamed for killing the dude what raped her and his best friend. He got they said he went to prison, but he said he took a plea deal, but he only did 5 years. And so I'm assuming once he got out of jail, he hadn't got behind on child support. He said reason he came to the salon because he needed money to pay his back child support. He said, because if not, I'm going to end up back in jail. He said, cause it's just what he said. It just really mattered. He said, because they don't care for us. They don't, in other words, when a lot of people go to jail and get out of prison, y'all know it'd be hard for some people to get a job. Some people being went to prison for, they assume you being murdered somebody, and it's hard for them to just get a good job unless somebody just really give a person a chance. You see what I'm saying? And he was saying he wasn't a bad person, but in other words, he had them fell short. And he was just saying his daughter was his world. He loved his daughter. And you sitting up here with a gun. Then look, y'all. Angie, she had the man on gunpoint. She put the gun down, y'all. Untied the man. I'm like, Lord, yeah, something ain't right. Well, I'm saying to myself, what is she doing? And then he helped her. He helped her face the fears. She wanted to touch him. She wanted to touch his face. She wanted to get out of fear of being afraid of men. And that's what she needed was therapy, y'all. She needed some help mentally. Physically, nobody wasn't gonna be able to mess with her, huh? She would have shot you. But mentally, she was all messed up. But like I said, she untied him. She ended up having feelings for him. And he helped her. She got out of her fear, but then when she saw that tattoo on his back, she thought that he was the one who raped her. And he said, no, they killed the one that raped you. He just said that was one of his gang members because they all had tattoos. But it was in a way sad too because the police, they did come there. They came there and they ended up shooting the guy. And she was like, no. Even though she had the man hostage for a couple of days, she didn't want to help the man. I'm like, Lord. And then that was her mama had them found out about what had happened to her. Her mama was crying and want to apologize. I'm like, woman, you 10 years late. All those years, now I know this television. All those years, and you didn't know your daughter was going through all of that. You didn't take time out to say, are you okay? But she said, I know since she left that party that she wasn't the same. She did know that. The girl had been feeling like that for 10 years, y'all. Holding it in. But when the opportunity came and for someone to get somebody, she did it. Even though to me, I felt like she shouldn't have took things in her own hand. So what y'all think? Do y'all think she should have just let the police handle it? But I think it's, in a way she should have, y'all. But if she hadn't, she would have never got that breakthrough she got. Because she did get a breakthrough at the end. Hey, welcome in. How are you? I'm talking about the movie Angie's Cure. Have you seen it? And I was just talking about when people be traumatized and stuff like that, if they'd have been through sexual assault or abuse, it do be hard for people to open up to other people. Some people rather talk to strangers than their own family members, especially when they're. Do I remember you? You the little child came in my chat the other day, right? Do you tell me you 12 years old? I think I remember you from the other day. How you doing? What you doing in my chat? You being good? You say you was a little child, right? You welcome to come in as long as you're being respectful now. Because I got those Georgia troopers there. Get you up out of here. I think I remember you. I think you said you was 12 years old. And I went to your profile picture. Do you have a channel? Your parents know you on YouTube? Do your parents know you on YouTube? Don't be in channels that you should now. I think I have a positive channel. You're welcome to hang in here. They know you on YouTube? Okay. Are you enjoying your summer? Are you enjoying your summer? But yes, I was talking about the movie. Oh, that's good. Yeah, he came in the other day. He said he's 12 years old, y'all. I told him, come here being bad now. But, okay, get back. But Big Key, I'm going to ask you, because you seen the movie, right? Do you think she handled it the right way? Do you think she should have just let the police just handle it? Frank, you got your eyes on him, Frank. Okay, Frank. But do you think, I'm going to ask y'all in the question, I know you haven't seen the movie, Frank, but put it on your list, Frank. Check it out for me, okay? Do you think she should have let the police handle it? You think? But you know what, y'all? If the police hadn't handled it, I don't think she would have got the closure she did get, because she was able to have a breakthrough with that man, even though she held him against his will. So you okay? Even though she had hold him against his will, but she found the way where she was able to get over being in fear. And even though he had tried to rob the salon, right? But he said, I'm not a bad person. He just needed some money. He needed some money, y'all. And when people ain't got no job now, and with the way things are now, I'm not saying robbing people, killing people. No, that's never nothing you would want to do. But times are so hard now, you'll be surprised what people are doing to try to make it. She undertook a chance. Yeah. But I said if she had turned to me and Miss Key, she still would have been dealing with the traumatization. She still would probably still be in fear. He did help her. He did help her in a way where he would tell her, come closer, come to me. You know, that girl had to forgot she had the man hostage. She done laid the gun. What if the man had got the gun and turned it on her? Even though at the end, after she saw the tattoo, she snapped back. She snapped and grabbed the gun. And that's when he grabbed the gun. And that's when the police came in and shot him. But he was saying he wasn't a bad person. He was caught up in a bad situation himself. But he did not kill those guys. It's just the fact that he was black and gang related. He was there with the gangs and stuff. And he took the fall for all of them. And she thought that, you know, after she seen that tattoo, she thought he was the one who raped her, but he did. He didn't. He said he wasn't a bad person. He needed some money to pay that child support call. He said, I'm going to end up back in jail if I don't get no money. And like I said, a lot of people that go to jail, go to prison, it be hard for them to find jobs because, you know, that going to carry whatever you did going to be on your record. And they got him for, murder? And you know that was on his record. And he got a plea deal for 5 years, right? But all that was still on his record where he wasn't able to probably get a good job, but he probably could have got some. But the irony of the story, let me tell you what really what really some of the things that I found very interesting about this movie and some of the message about this movie. And it's, a lot of people cannot deal with trauma, especially when they go through stuff like this. And it took me a while. When I did was raped at 8, I remember going back to school and I felt like people was judging me, and you start feeling that way. You feel like, and they make you feel like it's something that you have did wrong. They make it feel like you have did something wrong. I don't know if y'all can see this. I don't know if I can read it like that though. But these are just some of the things that they were saying that, she was a victim. She really was a victim, but she she felt like that was her way of going through the things she went through. It was some of the things that she had to go through to get better. She felt like getting revenge was the best thing to do. But it wasn't. It really wasn't. It wasn't the right thing for her to do. It was not the right thing for her to do, but it made her felt like it was. And when you have trauma, a lot of people don't realize what trauma do to people. Hey, Six Bows. I'm talking about the movie Angie Angie Cure. Did you see it? It's about the 16-year-old girl that she was raped at 16, right? And she got traumatized because she had held it in for 10 years. She couldn't talk to her mama. Her mama was one of them type, like, I ain't got time for you, girl. I'm out here trying to do me. You know what I'm saying? Her mama was one of those types. And she had to go through had to hold all of that in her for 10 years until it came to the point where she broke. She broke. I'm telling you. She had the opportunity to get revenge, even though it wasn't the man what had raped her. And that's what the man kept telling her, y'all. I don't know who hurt you in this way, but it wasn't me. And that's when you know when a person is traumatized. Yeah, it triggered me some, but I done got stronger, and I try to share it in a way where it can help somebody because I have been I was raped at 8 years old, and it's some triggers, especially if you've been through sexual abuse and sexual assault and stuff like that. And she hold that man hostage for all them days. And she felt like that's what she needed to do, y'all. She felt like she wanted to get revenge, but he wasn't the one did. And they said that's what a lot of people would go through stuff like that. They take it out. They take it out on people. If they done been assaulted in that way, they'll take it out on another person, which they know. But in their mind, they thinking like, if he hurt me, the next man gonna do it too. Because it's just the trauma you go through. Because I said that when I was young. I'm not gonna talk to no man. I'm not gonna talk. I was feeling like all men were gonna be that way until I got older and realized that there are some good men out here, and there's also some evil and monsters out here. Even though there was a movie, but I saw what they did to her. They drugged her. They took advantage of her. They took her virginity. They knew just how to get to her. She was blaming herself because she sneaked out the house, had on clothes that she shouldn't have been wearing. But you never supposed to blame yourself. None of all men do that. So she had to figure out a way to be able to deal with the trauma. And her way, and the way she did it, it was wrong by her holding the man hostage, but it was wrong that she hold a man hostage, right? But that was her way of trying to deal with the trauma. And he had said, she slapped him by y'all. She slapped that man by 3 or 4 times. She threw grits. She threw hot grits on him, y'all. So she had to figure out a way. She had to figure out a way where she was able to deal with the trauma. And people are dealing with it. People are dealing with it every day. I just thank God, and I thank God for my mom, all the people that was there for me, that know how it affected me mentally. And I'm glad that I think God played a big role in me healing, because I had praying parents, praying grandparents. I was at an early age. And I would question why he messed with me. Why did he do this to me? It make you question those things. Make you feel like you start questioning things like is it something I did wrong? Because that's what even though there's a movie, but like I said, it's a movie, it's a message in it also, that you can go through these things, but it don't have to define you. The girl told her, one day don't define you. Reset on Sunday. I liked that line when that girl said, I liked that line now. It's true. But they always say, a bad day doesn't make a bad life. But if you don't get the help you need and to get you where you need to get, like if you hold things in, eventually it probably gonna hurt you mentally. And I think that what happened to her, she hadn't held so much in, and she saw the opportunity to try to fight back. Even though it's the man that did that to her, had already got killed. So the guy told her, look, I didn't do this to you. The one that did that to you, they did kill him that night at the party. But they thought he was the one killed him. But the police or either some more gang members had shot him. I think that's how it was. But, a lot of people don't understand when people be traumatized like that, anything can trigger them. And see, that triggered her when the guy came in with the gun. That triggered her. When he came in with the gun, holding them, asking them for money. See, it brought back that night at the party because they had guns and she heard all the shooting and she said, I'm not going to let nobody hurt me or my friends. So she flipped. She flipped, y'all. She flipped. She hold a man hostage. But she ended up at the end, she ended up having feeling for him. And cause when the police shot him, y'all, she said, no. She told the police, no. Y'all shouldn't have did that. Even though she just sat there and throw grits on the man and slapped him by 3 or 4 times. But that was her therapy. He said you can do whatever. He sat there and let that woman slap him, y'all. Because he felt her pain. He felt what she was going through. So anybody that's going through any type of traumatization due from being assaulted or raped or any type of abuse, there are places that can help you. They got 1-800 numbers. I share these type of things because of the fact that I have overcome, but I'm still a victim of rape. And I can talk about it. But there were times when I couldn't. There was time when I wasn't strong enough to mentally. There was time I wasn't able to talk about it without crying. Sometimes I still get a little emotional, but it's because of the fact that I can handle things a little bit better as I got older. In my younger days, yes, I always felt like I wouldn't find nobody for me. People would always think, or they'll be, judging me because of what my cousin did to me, and I thought that I wasn't gonna be happy. I had said I don't even want no husband. That's how my mind was during that time. I felt like, but everybody don't treat you that way. But I just want to say this: when a person tell you no, I don't care if you're a man or a woman. If someone tell you no, stop it. Don't ignore it. I'll be right back, y'all. Don't ignore it. Cause you are violating somebody. So she had to find a way to heal. She had to find a way to heal, y'all. She had to find a way to heal. And by her getting revenge, she thought that was her way. I said she probably should have let the police handle it. Then probably the movie, you know how it's a movie. So it had to be where, cause in the beginning they were saying, they were saying that it was concerning someone being traumatized. And she wished she was. And then her mama, at the end, her mama, like I said, she used to keep a journal, y'all. She used to keep a journal. She used to write down her feelings. Instead of talking to people, she would write down, things that was going on with her because she felt like she couldn't talk to her mama. So her mama, coming up to the end, her mama read her journal, and she was saying she wasn't gonna let nobody hurt her no more, and she wasn't gonna let nobody hurt her friends. That's what she was saying. That's when her mama knew that something was not right with her daughter. I'm like, wow, you done figure it out now after all this time. You done figured out that my daughter need help, and she called herself a crying, trying to apologize to her and stuff like that, and was telling her, she supposed to been there protecting her. She started blaming herself then. But lady, even though this is a movie, but this happens in real life. A lot of people won't talk to their parents, won't talk to their relatives about stuff what's going on with them, especially when stuff like this, because they feel like a lot of people won't believe them. They think that they just doing something for attention and stuff like that. The one thing about my mom, it didn't even matter with me when that happened to me, y'all. It didn't even matter at my age that no one believed me or not. Long as I know my mom, my dad, I know they was there for me. I know my parents were there for me, my grandmother, and people that loved me was there for me. They know what I had went through. But there was some people when I was going through my rape and stuff, trying to heal and get back to being a child. There was some people thought I was, how some people don't take their children seriously, like that girl all right, The first thing people would think, because you're a child, they think you're allowed about something like that. But after they took me to the doctor and examined me. I'm 56 years old, and I remember it just like that. Just like that. It was horrible. I wouldn't want no person. I'm getting now. I'm trying to get a little emotional, but I wouldn't want no child or no one to have to experience that. I have those moments sometimes, but I'm good. I'm good. That's why I'm always encouraging my granddaughters, talking to them, making sure they good. Even your boys. You gotta protect your children. The boys too, because people do horrible things to boys too. Yeah. I had that moment a while ago, but I'm good. But when I talk about it, it make me feel better. It make me feel stronger. It make me feel like that I can let somebody know that you're not alone. Even though it happened to me when I was 8, as I got older, I learned, and I ain't always have been as strong as I am today. It took a while, but through family, through support, prayer, I was able to turn out all right. I got married, got kids. Sometimes when I think about my granddaughters, it really, that's when it really hit me a lot. When I think about them coming up and I try to protect my grandkids. And y'all know how I am about them. I try to protect them every way I possibly can. I really do. Because no child shouldn't have to go through that. No child shouldn't have to be scared thinking somebody's going to come in their bedroom, or someone looking and staring them down in a way. Because I can remember my cousin looking at me all crazy and stuff. Like, well, you had little family gatherings and stuff, and he used to be like, I can remember him just looking at me. But as a child, you don't really know what's going on. You see what I'm saying? So my mama used to always say he could have did that to her instead of me, because once you go through that as a child, you do be traumatized, y'all. I'm just gonna tell you. And so I talk about what I went through to try to seek and I reach other people that has been through this situation or going through this situation, and let them know that somebody out here have been through that too. You're not alone. Some people just be afraid. They be afraid to even talk about it. Yeah. But after I went through the hospital and they examined me and they saw what had happened to me, it was on paper. It's written in my records. It's written. In other words, I got the rape kit or whatever. They saw where he had entered me. And see, on the movie, she didn't even want to go. Because she knew her mama. See, she was afraid. She knew her mama was going to blame her. She said her mama was going to blame her for what had happened. Cause she did sneak out the house, y'all. She did sneak out the house. But she shouldn't be blamed for, and no one should be blamed if someone takes something from them, especially their virginity. No one should be blamed for that. That's why I said, when a person tell you no, they don't want to have sex, or they don't want to be with you, understand that. Understand that what you're doing when you not respecting what another person say no, and you don't do it, you're violating them. You're violating them, and you can go to jail for that. You can go to prison, especially if it. They call that what, date rape. Y'all remember they were saying that was date rape when a person tell you no and people still steady be trying to thinking they can be after you. Like I said, I have got stronger over the years from my younger years. Six ball, you say you can't talk about, you can't watch that like that. I used to cut for real, and I guess now by me being a YouTube creator, I try to use my journeys and things that I have went through and try to help others. It used to bother me a lot. I said I can't watch movies like that. And then I started watching, and cause that was when I had to let my fear go. I had to let my fear because I was dealing with fear. Hey, Kenny, how you doing? Good to see you. But y'all check the movie out. I realize I be so dramatic sometimes. I realize I make it so dramatic. I try to have it where you see why I watch things. You see why I talk about certain things on my channel. I want to make it to be where, like I said, it helps somebody. So if anybody going through anything like that, find someone to talk to. Find somebody to talk to. Whether you can get, they got 1-800 numbers you can call. Places that you can, crisis places that you can go to. A person should never have to feel alone through this kind of situations. But you never let that, what happened to you, when you know it wasn't your fault, define the person you are or the person that you are trying to be. Never. Because when people do that to you, abuse and take things from you in that way, they're violating you. They really are. Yep. But it was a pretty good movie. And yeah, it was a pretty good movie. And I enjoyed it. I went over some little notes I wanted to share about the day. That's why I was saying, you know, she dealt with she dealt with it the best way she could, even though she should have let him handle it the legal way. But after so many years, after she hadn't kept it to herself, she felt like, hey, this is an opportunity for me right here. She was tell y'all, she was using that man she was holding hostage. He was her punching bag. And he sat there and let her did it. She touched him. She slapped him. I mean, it's just like she felt like she just needed to let it out. You know how you just want to hit something sometimes? That's how she was, Angie. She just wanted to hit something. She hit his face. She slapped him about 3 or 4 times, I believe. Yeah, and support. You gotta have a good support system, y'all. I'm telling y'all just like that. I don't know if y'all want to believe it or not. Anytime your children come to you, listen. Please listen to your children. Listen when they tell you something like that. Don't brush it off. Don't say, go sit down somewhere. Don't do that. If your child come in and tell you that somebody touched them, you see about it. You find out who did it. When stuff like that, man, if one of my grandkids would tell me something like that, I think I'd be just like Angie was in that movie. Because like I said, because of the fact that I have been through something. You know what I'm saying? Boy, I tell you, now when them girls mess with my granddaughter, I know I couldn't go out there to that school, but I wanted to. I sure did. When they were bullying my granddaughter during that time, They're like, Mama, sit down. So, well, you can't go up there. That fool gonna knock you down. Look at you on a stick. But I'm just saying, that kind of stuff like that irks me. Bothering people that don't bother you. I ain't never liked it that. And I never will. I don't approve of people bullying people, attacking people. I don't approve of none of that. That's not my, that's not what I do. And I want to allow it. I don't want to allow it on my channel. I really won't. If you come on my channel and you say I got a problem with, if you got a problem with Georgia girl, we'll deal with it. You got my phone. I'll give you my phone number. I'll give you my email. There's ways you can contact me, and we can handle things like adults. But if someone come in my channel trying to handle somebody else, I'm gonna try my best to make peace if I can. I'm gonna try my best to get y'all together and say, look, y'all want to talk about it? Y'all want to reconcile or whatever? Y'all want to, you know? But then when you get rowdy and get to the point where y'all want to get so ratchet with it, I'm all about trying to make peace. I'll give you my platform. You need to come up and say what you got to say. But once it start getting all crazy, no, no, no. Yeah, I believe I'll be an Angie girl when it come out of my babies. Even my children, they grown. I don't play when it come out of my family. I hold things in, but certain times when it come down to stuff like that, you'll see me moving faster than what I move. Oh Lordy. But yeah, I was yesterday. I relaxed yesterday. I was finna find me a good movie, and I was between that movie and another one, and I got to reading this one right here. I was okay. I said, hope it don't trigger me too much. I think I did pretty good. And then when I saw her mama crying, y'all, I don't know. I don't know why I felt like, oh my God. I don't know why I didn't feel sad for her mama. No, I didn't. I did because of the fact. But it did touch me. I was like, you wasn't there for her. Like I said, I have a close relationship with both of my children. I have a close relationship with my grandkids. That don't mean they're gonna tell me everything, but you know what I'm saying. I try to have it where talking. Oh, what? All that while y'all didn't hear me. Y'all didn't hear nothing I said. I'm just going. You mean to tell me y'all ain't heard nothing? Lord, I think when that phone fell out, I was saying, what I was saying was that my children be like, Sometimes my children, they know they can talk to me. Me and my kids are close. My grandkids, I try to have it where if they need me, I'm here. They be like, we want to talk to Georgia girl. I'm like, what? They be talking about Georgia girl seem like she understandable. We don't want Amy. Amy used to be something else. But Amy I had to change my life, y'all. I really did. I had to change I'm like afraid. Um, I had to change. I really did. I changed because of what I've been through. But I changed in a way that I try to do things that I'm able to. I try to make peace. But there have been times before I got through. But there have been times, boy, it didn't take much. I used to be just like that, like a little time bomb. But it took me to go through a lot to, uh, my phone is on charger. I need to go get that thing, It took me to go through a lot to, and then, it makes you think about some of the things that you have to deal with in your real life. And you could sit back and say, hmm, was all this worth it? I ain't never been the type to bully nobody or I ain't never been that type. I ain't never been that type to want to start with nobody. It's just that I used to talk back to you now. In other words, I would give you that word back. And then sometime now, I let you know I'm not a pushover. You might say well, she ain't gonna say that. Just look at you fell off your. Look like I fell off my seat. Oh, my phone fell. But a lot of people think that because you don't say nothing, they think you're easy. They think that you will take whatever they dish out. But you just don't know. Sometimes that stuff be building you up. Ooh. That's what they say. Those quiet ones. Mm, you have to watch those quiet ones. You really have to watch those quiet ones. They might flip a strip on you. Might flip a strip. But yeah, before I went through all my things I went through, I mean, I never did drugs or anything like that. I used to drink a little beer, a little wine, and party, and I used to do all that stuff, before I got to the point where I figured that my life had to be changed. I mean, ain't nothing wrong with that. I will get me some mixed drinks and stuff like that. I be on too much medication now. You know what I'm saying? You know, if you done been through a lot and you could sit back and say you ain't know, you wondering, it was God what brought you through this stuff, right? But you have to sit back and just think about it. Yeah. I be like, it ain't worth me fussing with these people. Why? Why fuss with them? Let them. Because people, like, well, I was watching some last night, and Frank had did a video. People gonna like you. They gonna talk about you, no matter if you're doing good or bad. And that is so true. They still gonna have something to say. Some people gonna applaud you, and some not. They realize they're just how people are. Yeah, girl, I get me up. Shoot. But I used to drink them Bud Lights years ago. I used to be, but I got to the point where those days are behind me, and I used to get back at folks. They say something to me, I used to let them know. But now I'm not a pushover or anything. I just if I feel like if it's worth me talking about, I'll talk about it. If it not, I don't let it faze me. Because I know who I am. You know what I'm saying? I know who I am. And that's just the thing, y'all. You gotta know who you are. Big Kiwi say it all the time. They don't want to see Amy come out. Big Kiwi, where she at? Big Kia said a minute. They don't want Amy to come out. But nah, I'm good. Mm. You straight butt wise? Oh, okay. Yeah, I have drunk butt wise, but them butt light. Mm. Me and my best friend, I'm holding my phone now. 'Cause I keep letting it. I need to go get that tripod. I got it sitting up here, knowing it ain't gonna sit up here right, but I got my hand on it now. But yeah, but like I said, I've been through a lot, and some things will either make you or break you. Some things will make you or break you. So if you can sit back and say some of the things that you went through. What is that? Oh, I know what you said, Frankie. Oh, Frank. I believe you. Ooh, Frank, I be here. Look, now me and you've been connected for a while now. I mean, I have seen some of your videos. I mean, you say what's on your mind. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with saying what's on your mind. Let people know how you feel. Because some people feel like they can talk to you in a kind of way, can say what they want to say about you, and think that you won't say nothing. But when I see that you being ignorant and want attention, I don't be stunned about you. Fuck by yourself. You'll get tired. I done seen some of your rant. And yeah, we got I ain't forgot to announce, but I did a video earlier today. We got the 30-minute live video or live stream. You can either do video or live stream. You can, however you want to do it. I'll probably be doing some errands tomorrow, so I probably coming on a little bit late, but I'm gonna get my 30 minutes in. Those Bud Light are said to break. What? I ain't know that. Yep. They used to be my drink. Did they used to be my drink, Aaron? Bud Light. Bud Light. Yeah. That's about that what I used to drink too, though. I was telling them I used to drink and we used to party. They ain't changed now. Our bodies and stuff. Our bodies, mind, all look to change now. So, but I will get me a margarita now. Like I said, we leaving Thursday. My granddaughter's birthday. We're gonna be down there for her birthday, and we're gonna. The 4th of July is Friday. I just forgot about that. We'll be gone for a few days. I'll probably doing some little 30-minute drive. Like I'm not driving, but my 30-minute live stream might be on the road or something like that. Yeah, but that's what the challenge this week, y'all. Either 30-minute live stream or 30-minute video. Tomorrow I gotta do a couple of errands. But I think I just about got everything I need on the trip. I gotta get a chair. We gotta get us a chair. Cause we're gonna be sitting by the beach and everything. Joy girl, if I would have kept my old channel, you have been surprised and like I be, I be laughing at you. I be over there looking at your TikTok. When you be over there. Those songs. I look at Frank. When you be doing no reaction. Frank, you got a lot of people over there, man. Golly. You got a lot of people over there on TikTok. Do they ever come over here on YouTube? You need to start advertising your YouTube channel. Bring them on over here. I said, dog, Frank. I think I got over 1,000, I think. I believe it. I see you be up there. Doing a reaction video. But yeah, I just want to share that about the movie. Like I said, some people have handle things like when they go through traumas and dealing with stuff like that, rape, with rape victims and people. Oh, I had them. Yeah, I didn't eat none of those turkey wings. I didn't eat none. I had cooked some peas and stuff, but some people just they handle things differently. You know, sometimes I used to wonder. I couldn't have kept that from my mama now. I was saying, what if I had kept that from my mama now? That probably would have haunted me the rest of my life, y'all. If I had never told my mama what had happened, but she was gonna have to wash my clothes. I was bleeding. You ain't no pee now? Yeah, I ate some pee. At 8 years old, I didn't have no period. You know what I'm saying? So I couldn't have kept that. I couldn't have kept that from my mama now. I had to. I had to tell them. For a lot of people hold stuff like that in because they feel like people gonna judge them, gonna feel like, and then that person gonna feel like it's their fault. They had to take all my clothes, my little panties, my clothes. They had to use that and to show that in court, y'all. And I can remember when I went to court, I explained what he did to me. I remember screaming, telling him to leave me alone. He started putting a pillow on my head. Yeah. It was raining. I remember it was raining that night. My auntie said they didn't hear me screaming and stuff like that. Even my cousin was sleeping with me. She got out the bed with me. Me and my cousin had spent the night with my aunt. And she got to bed with me because she was scared of the thunder and lightning. And he knew that we was both in that one time. And I was just saying to myself, if she had stayed in there, maybe he wouldn't have came in there where I was. That's what I was saying to myself, right? That's what I would think as I got older. But she was a little bit younger than me, and she was scared of the thunder and lightning. So she went in there with my auntie now was. And I was in there by myself. And he brought it butt in there. I know I remember him putting that pillow on my face. I remember that. That's why I said, I know God is good. It could have been worse for me. You know what I'm saying? But that's something no child or adult should have to experience. Nothing like that. Yeah, that's what happened, Frank. Never it happened. I remember screaming. I remember the pillow. He was trying to keep me from screaming out. And I told all that in court. That's why they tell you to go to the doctor when stuff like that happen. Because once they examine you, and once they examined me, they saw what he had entered me. Yeah. I used to cry when I was younger about it. I was feeling shame. I didn't want people to know stuff like that. But as I got older, and you know, I start sharing it more. It seems like the more I share it, it makes me more stronger. And I'm 56 years old, and that happened when I was 8. And I remember the courtroom. My dad wanted to kill him, y'all. My daddy wanted to kill him. He really did. But my uncle begged my daddy not to kill him and said he'll just go to jail, and he did. I forgot how long he went, but he did go to prison. Yep. And then I think he tried to do somebody else like that too. He tried to do somebody else like that. Yeah, my dad. My dad didn't play about me, I'm telling you. Yep. And I know before I got married, I told my husband about it. I felt like I needed to share that with him and let him know. Because I felt like, I don't know, Angie, I felt like that's some of the reason why I never could. I had I never could go in labor with my kids because they were saying the way I was built, and I always used to think, did he do something to me down there that why I couldn't have my kids? But yeah, but I had to have C-section. I'm good though, but y'all don't see no water, do you? But I'm good. But you know, but anyway, I just thank God daily for strength. I thank Him daily for strength. When I read and hear stories like this, I know what people, even though this is not true, this is entertainment, but there are people out there that can't deal with it. They keep it to themselves. They blame themselves, but they be needing a way out. And any little thing will make them flip. And I always often used to wonder when I did saw him after he had to went, I still was feeling scared, but I forgave him. I didn't tell him, but I forgave him for me, so I can move on. But it'll be something that I never. That is something gonna be with me till I die. Yeah, and that's why I protect over my daughter, my grandchildren. But don't never think those boys are being. Don't never think your boys. They mess with boys too. Their boys be violated also, y'all. Y'all be hearing about those priests and all those priests how they be touching those boys, and, So we, in other words, we gonna have to protect our children at all costs. Talk to our babies. Talk to them. Angie, are you and your girls? How many girls you got, Angie? How many girls you got? You and your kids, do y'all talk a lot? Do you and your daughter talk a lot? I know they don't like to tell you everything, but I'm just saying, do y'all talk a lot? Yes, forgiveness what releases you, and forgiveness don't mean you have to speak to the person. They're right. I mean, once I saw him when I got older, he came in my mama's yard. I mean, he still my mama just like his auntie, just auntie. Hello, my mom and nephew. You know what I'm saying? So, but I couldn't pretend like we was good. I just stayed out his way. And I said, he better not look. I was like that, Angie. He better not look at my daughter. I, I probably would have killed that fool. I'm just gonna tell you. I would have been like Angie for real. I would have killed him. He had even gave a look at my daughter. And my daughter even told me, cause T was little then. T was like, she was a little bit bigger than me when I seen him after that happened. She probably was a little bit bigger than me. I said, when he came in my mama yard, Auntie, I'm like, and my mama, she hadn't forgot. She knew what he did to me, but but I was looking, but I was like, you better not look at T. I got my daughter T. I said, he better not be looking at her, cause I probably I would have killed him. I'm just gonna tell you. Yeah, but I'm glad God took some of my anger from me. I'm glad that, and you said, yes, forgiveness is what releases you, and forgiveness don't mean you never have to speak to the person ever again. That is so true. That is so true. That is so true. Even though there was a movie I just got through talking about, the girl, the boy that she held hostage, she thought he was the one did it to her, so she was taking out her anger on him. And he let her. He told her he would let her took her therapy. It was just like she got therapy by hitting him and touching him, but she won't be afraid to face people. But that was not to me the way to go or holding him hostage, but That was her way of dealing with it. And sometimes people have to figure out ways that gonna be best for them to deal with stuff. A lot of people can't handle a lot of stuff. And I know I have got stronger over the years. I have got stronger over the years. But I pray daily for God to make me continue to make me stronger, because I said I want to be around for my grandkids. I deal with what some of the stuff I deal with, and I ask Him daily, I said, Lord, just give me a little bit more time. That's what you said. I went through a social anxiety and PTSD when Cheryl, my elder, was a teen. I wish I was there more for her. She helped me through a lot. Oh, for real? So how old your oldest? How old is your oldest? Yeah, I told you I deal with anxiety and stuff like that, but I done came a long way, Angie. A long way. Sometimes I think about some of the stuff that I've been through, and I say, ain't nobody but God who have brought me through this. But I don't let what I went through define me. I don't let it, I don't let it define me. I say I done grown from that. Okay. Okay. Well, that's good. That is good. That is so good. But anyway, Edge, when y'all going on y'all trip? We leaving Thursday. I just gotta pick up a few little odds and ends, and I'm gonna do that tomorrow. And then I'm gonna be through, cause um we gonna be gone about 3 or 4 days. Cause my husband just was able to take off about 3 days, so we gotta, just really just taking the kids out, and then my granddaughter birthday. Yeah, I thank God for my children, my family, my husband. I thank God for them all. Cause I know what I've been down that road with anxiety. My daughter had to help me breathe. Had to tell me to breathe, and she would be used to be hitting me in my chest. After I went through anxiety real bad, I wake up, my chest be hurt, and I'm like, why my chest be hurting? My daughter was like, Mom, I had to try to tap you to try to make sure you don't go out. Try to make sure I keep breathing. And I don't. That's not a good feeling. That's why I pray daily. I said, Lord, I can't let this stuff bother me. That's why I said, I ain't nothing compared to how I used to be. And I owe it all to God. I owe it all to Him. We're going to the airport hotel on Wednesday. Have a plane. Woo, y'all getting on the plane? Wow. For real? I know, Angie. I know. I be like that. I be like that sometimes now. Some days, I just lay. Like yesterday, one of them days, I think I did a couple of shorts, but I just didn't have the energy to do nothing else. For real. Africa? Okay. I bet that gonna be nice. I never been on an airplane. My daughter's about, oh, nobody put you on no airplane. Talk about, They talk about, they think I have a panic attack. Like, no, I won't. I said, no, I won't. Yeah, but one day I'm gonna get on that. We going on another cruise too. I love the cruise. I thought I wasn't gonna make it on that, but I did. But Angie, I hope you enjoy, y'all, you and your family enjoy your trip. And like I said, I was sharing that about the girl. They never did find that little girl. They said she's still missing. Well, her body's still missing. And like I told T, I said, shoot, gonna keep our eyes on Boosie now at that beach. Cause I don't need to have no episode down there. I said, cause Boosie like to play in the sand. She like to have her sand and stuff. She'll stay right there in that sand. We talking, look, Grandma Billy Mills, a sand castle. I'm gonna be where I can be able to keep my eyes on her, honey. I just started 2 years ago, and I was scared to get on that plane. But okay, I'm gonna get out there and get on to my daughter. You ain't going on a plane with me. God, please. You said the same thing about that boat, but I got on there. Yeah, we're gonna try to. It's good to get away from home for a little bit. It's good to get away from home for a little bit. But anyway, you guys, I just wanted to bring that to y'all about the movie. Um, if y'all get a chance to watch it, I think it came out in 2025. It was a pretty good movie. It was sad a little bit, and then I'm just glad that at the end they realized she really did need help. They ain't even try to put her in jail, y'all. They ain't put her in jail, even though she, even though she had to hold that man hostage for a couple of days. But they realized what she was dealing with, and she didn't kill him, but she did some damage to him. She threw them hot grits on his butt, slapped him a couple times and stuff like that, and but after they saw that she was, because they didn't know that was the same girl that had got that. See, the police didn't even know she had got raped, but they knew something had happened to her at that party. But that lady cop, Esther Atkins, she knew the girl had got raped because she was saying ain't nothing they can do unless she press charges. And then she said, I see why she didn't want to say nothing because of the fact of how her mom was treating her. Her mom was treating her. It's just like her mom was abusing her verbally. Her mom was abusing her. It was enough that she had to deal with the rape and then had to hear her mama mouth. And but overall, I think it was a pretty good movie. And if you want to find something like it's kind of like a drama. It's a drama movie. If you want to just sit back and watch something, if you can handle stuff, because it probably will trigger people that have been in situations like this. Because it took me, I was like, okay, I'll be all right. I watched it, but I found it was very interesting. And that's why I brought it to the channel. But anyway, guys, I enjoyed y'all. Hope y'all had something good for dinner. But like I said, we're doing the 5-day, 30-minute challenge next week. You can either do a live or either a video. And I know these next couple of days I'm gonna be kind of busy. I'm gonna squeeze in my 30 minutes. Wherever I be, whether I be live or video, but I'm gonna put my 30 minutes in, and we'll be leaving out Thursday morning. But yeah. But anyway, y'all enjoy the rest of y'all night. Thanks to the ones that did stop by. Shout out to my Georgia troopers. I appreciate y'all so much. I shouted y'all out today on my community wall. I'm gonna be trying to share some of y'all work this week. And you have fun too. Um, Hope you and your babies, your girls have fun. Frank, is always good to see you. Frank, you had took you a couple of days, then. I think Frank said he had been on break. Thank y'all, and I saw you feeding your guinea. Y'all taking guinea with y'all? I don't know what we gonna do with all that guinea pig. He ain't going on no trip with me. Mm-mm. Running around there, Y'all taking y'all with y'all, Angie. Y'all talking about she need a baby. Those kids, but they gotta find them somebody to keep the thing. If Boots would have heard me calling that thing a thing, she'll get mad. Uh, my brother said they gonna keep him. I told that thing gonna tell that he already don't. He don't even want to stay in his cage. Angie, that thing done got so bad. He think he a human being. He just be hollering and going on. And my daughter be trying to pick him up. I'm like, what wrong with him? He be trying to eat everything in sight. I said, y'all gonna end up dead. I don't think I'm gonna be eating all that stuff. He's so runt. They got Mickey so runt, Angie. It don't make no sense. He done got so big. He done got big. Now my brother said, y'all gonna find that thing in a pot. I said, what you gonna do? Gonna cook him? That's what he said. Y'all gonna come back and that thing up in a pot. Oh, you gonna cook the guinea pig? My children said, we can't leave my grandma's house. All right, y'all. Bye, enjoy, y'all. Y'all have a good night. Y'all stay blessed. Stay encouraged and always stay what? Prayed up, and shout out to the old Georgia what? Troopers. Bye y'all. Good night.